afternoon, my dear students of Mayalami College, second semester education. My name is Yengkom Jayantakumar Singh, Assistant Professor of Mayalami College. My dear students, today's topic is meaning of psychology, branches of psychology, meaning of education psychology, application of knowledge of psychology in education. First part discuss psychology is the science of soul. In the beginning, etymologically, the term psychology comes from the Greek word psyche, means soul, and the logos means science. Thus, the meaning of psychology is the science of soul. Earlier, it was studied as a branch of philosophy. Now, the science of soul cannot be empirical, and consequently it cannot be science, because soul has not yet been discovered or identified. Scientists have failed to locate and identify the entity of soul. This definition suffers from extreme vagueness, as we cannot give any satisfactory answer to the question, what is soul? That is why psychology is the science of soul is rejected by the psychologists. Next, psychology is the science of mind. Failure to define soul properly. Thus, Greek philosophers to define psychology as a science of mind. On a definition to give to rise to host or very significant question which could not be answered satisfactorily. Among these questions were, what is mind? Can it be studied scientifically? How can the function of brain be rendered concrete? Cannot be studied in the laboratory. However, few answers to those questions were obtained from to the inadequate and the unsatisfactory. So, the psychology is the science of soul, is the science of mind, is the science of soul, is rejected by the psychologists. Thirdly, psychology is the science of consciousness. According to William James, he defined psychology the science of consciousness. In the states of consciousness, remain aware of the situation, conscious or alive to the risks which are doing and the process of thinking and the feeling which is growing our mind. This definition has also been rejected on the ground. It has a very narrow vision, as it does not include the subconscious and unconscious activities of the mind. Thus, Wittgenstein has stated that consciousness is thoroughly a bad word, and it has been great misfortune for psychology. The most word has come into general use. Thus, above three definitions, we can say that psychology is science of mind, psychology science of soul, psychology science of consciousness is not satisfactory, and it cannot be useful. Lastly, many psychologists has agreement that psychology is the science of behavior. On the latter stage, psychology was directed towards behavior. According to Pillsbury writes, psychology may be most satisfactorily defined as the science of human behavior is conceived by some behaviorists over observable physical action of motion and the glance is called behavior. In fact, action, reaction, and interaction of activity is called behavior. Woodward had described first psychology lost its soul, then it lost its mind, then it lost its consciousness. Is still behavior of soul of psychology. According to Crow and the Crow, briefly defined, psychology is the study of human behavior and human relations. McDougall According to McDougall, psychology is the positive science of conduct and the behavior. C.B. Good says psychology study is the study of adjustment of organism, especially the human organism, to changing environment. Psychology is the science which deals with the natural interaction between organism and the environment. Thus, my dear student, in practically, I'll tell you some shortly what is psychology, and in shortly I talk to you. Firstly, we have discussed about the psychology is the science of soul. No one can see the soul. No one can define the soul of our life. So, in the field of science, we cannot define the soul. We cannot define the mind. We cannot define the consciousness. That is why all the theory of is rejected. But the psychologist has agreement, lastly has agreement that psychology is the science of behavior. Now, let us discuss about more about what is psychology. Psychology is the study of mind and the behavior. Number two, psychology uses scientific method. Psychologists take many different perspectives. Psychology has many subfields. Psychology is not just our therapy. Psychology is all around us. Psychology explores both real world and theoretical issues. Psychology offers a wide range of career options. Psychology studies both normal and abnormal behavior. Psychology seeks to describe, explain, predict, modify, and improve behavior. Now, my dear students, I think you have any problem about the psychology. Let us discuss what is the characteristics and the nature of psychology. Psychology is the science of human behavior, number one. Number two, psychology is the science of activities of individual in relating to the environment. Psychology is the science of consciousness and the behavior of unconsciousness determination of behavior. Psychology is the science which deals with the mutual interaction between organism and environment. Psychology is a positive science of experience and the behavior interpreted in terms of experience. Psychology is both pure and applied science. Psychology is an empirical. Now next our topic is relationship between education and the psychology. Let us first talk about what is education. The word education is derived from the Latin root education, which means educate, to bring up, to bring forth, to lead out. Mahatma Gandhi defined by education, I mean an all-round drawing out of the best in the field, child and the man, body, mind, and the spirit. According to John Dewey, education is the development of all those capacities of the individual which will enable him to control his environment and fulfill his possibility. Now let us discuss relationship between education and the psychology. The aim of education is to develop and modify the capacities of the individual, and the objectives of psychology is to study human behavior. An individual capacities cannot be developed till full knowledge of his behavior, modification or improvement of behavior is impossible. In the absence of study, we will have to link education with psychology. Psychology is contributed directly to acknowledge of pupil growth and the maturation during the school years. Now, it is the child who has become the focus of education. With the help of psychological approach, education becomes child-centered. The teacher too can become an ideal teacher only he is given knowledge about the nature and the psychology of children. With the help of psychological approach, education stresses on character building of children as well as importance is given on social development. Therefore, that education and the psychology must be inevitably depend upon each other. Now, lastly, let us discuss about what is the scope of education psychology or fields of education and psychology. Human development. The field of education psychology is scientific study of the various stages in human development. It studies the individual, social environment, mental and emotional development, and the individual difference on the basis of the knowledge. Number two, learning. It involves many activities. In the science learning, there is the principle underlying such learning, transfer of learning or training, and the various factors which influence learning. Personality and adjustment. Education psychology is a study of personality of students, emotions, mental life of the pupil, mental health of the teacher, acceptance children, character and the social interaction. The study of such problem is a formation of personality. Now we have concluded education, psychology, and what is psychology. Thank you, student, my dear students. Please listen carefully, and any question you have a doubt, you can send the message to me, and any problem, any question, to send message of this group. Thank you to all the my dear students.